Education will host Career Week 2023 this week, Monday, November 6th to Friday, November 10th, under the theme Navigating the Future, Developing Careers Beyond Boundaries. In a release from the Education Media Unit, Guidance Counselor Coordinator Sasha Gay McDermott was quoted as saying, "We decided to engage our stakeholders who will be sharing different perspectives that would be beneficial to our parents. The focus of these sessions is parent-child conversation, helping your child to find their niche," end quote. She said that she hoped the conversations would be beneficial to students and their families. All public schools in St. Kitts will observe the week and host several activities that will allow students to look at different career paths that they may be interested in. A mural of the country's national heroes is underway on the wall that borders the Newtown playfield along Pond Road in St. Kitts. ZIZ drove by the site and caught the artists in action, including Minister of Creative Economy Honorable Samuel Duggins. Director of Culture Pierre Liebert spoke of the painting project, which is dubbed the Creative Community Mural Project.
And this is the first, the first go around in the Creative Community Mural Project, which was envisioned by the Minister and tasked myself to execute. And that is to bring more public art, public imagery into the communities across St. Kitts, depicting our history, our cultural heritage, our sports, and basically just telling our story and brightening up our communities. So we have on board some highly talented young people and less young people who have committed their skills and talent to bringing these images, creating them and bringing them to the public. We will have undergone a lot of training, historical training, cultural training, to basically improve or enhance their knowledge about the history and culture and heritage of St. Kitts and Nevis, and they will channel that into some really beautiful imagery.
Minister Duggins spoke of the expected enhancements for local culture and for tourism.
We're here commissioning what I think will go along with our country's development culturally, and the training and understanding of our culture amongst our youth and our nationals and visitors in general. I believe it is clear to say that we learn most through art, and so conveying a story in the form of pictures, every one is worth over 1,000 words. And I think what we're seeing here as the launch project for that initiative, putting our national heroes in the spotlight, our artists depicting these national heroes in their own artistic way, I think speaks volume as to the understanding.
He said he anticipates seeing artistic works come to life from the minds of the artists who taught about the history of the heroes.
Part of this, as task to the ministry, was to ensure that our artists got extensive lessons on the history, the culture, and the development of St. Kitts and Nevis, and then use that knowledge to develop art pieces. So once this is finished, I'm quite sure we'll see into the creative mind of artists that understand now the power of our heroes, why we should celebrate them, and why the country should always be proud of them. And I'm happy to see this initiative take flight, because in coming into office, this was one of the things that I had committed to ensuring that our people could feel the presence of our history and our culture throughout the nation.
The national heroes to be depicted are Sir Joseph Nathaniel France, Sir Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw, Sir Simeon Daniel, Sir C.A. Paul Southwell, and Sir Kennedy Simmons. The artists working on the mural are Curtis Mully, Milano Welcome, Dujon Huggins, Minky Minks, Darren Moses, and Pierre Liebert. The police are investigating a robbery that occurred in Bellevue, St. Kitts on Friday. The incident occurred between 11:30 p.m. and 12 a.m. According to a police report, a bus driver from Basse-Terre was robbed by a male and female who posed as passengers on his bus. When the driver stopped in the area of Black Rocks to let them off, the two assailants accosted him and forced him out of the bus before driving away in it. The vehicle was later found ransacked and abandoned on a dirt road in the Estridge area. The crime scene unit of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force processed the scene and collected some items of evidential value. Should anyone have information regarding this and/or other criminal matters, the police are urging persons to contact the nearest police station or the Crime Stoppers hotline at 707. We move now to news on the regional scene. Prime Minister Honorable Gaston Brown remains confident of sustained economic growth for Antigua and Barbuda. He says this is the result of his administration's significant investments in the socio-economic infrastructure to create the platform for that expansion in economic activity. ABS's Garfield Burford reports.
Mr. Brown, who is also Finance Minister, says the country's post-COVID economic growth has been impressive.
In fact, our post-COVID growth has been in the region of about 8.5%, which is remarkable. In fact, this year, we will grow the country's economy by about 9 to 9.5%. And we expect to, by 2024, that we'll have a similar growth. So having lost 18% in 2020, we have actually recovered about 25% within the last 3 years.
With more growth in the forecast, the Prime Minister expects the economy to recover what has been lost since the COVID pandemic struck in 2020.
We have now exceeded the 2019 level of GDP, and by, I would say, the end of 2025, we would have not only recovered that 18%, but would have restored that annual average rate of growth of about 5%, which we achieved prior to COVID. And this is true testament of the performance, the resilience of the Antiguan and Barbudan people.
He was speaking on the opening of the freshly expanded Harrison Center Abyss on Thursday. He pointed to investments in education such as this one as being part of the platform for sustained economic growth. But it's clear the Prime Minister is not only focused on continued economic growth, but also wants continued economic development, which involves creating the ingredients needed to position the country for growth. He pointed to several investments in the socio-economic progress of the country, such as the cargo port redevelopment and UE5 Islands campus, as being part of this platform. He remains bullish on the future.
I'm steadfast in my vision for this country that Antigua and Barbuda will certainly become an economic powerhouse in the Caribbean. And I know many of you may not necessarily believe in this vision, but it is happening. And perhaps it's only after a period of decades you look back and recognize the progress that we have made. I mean, you had a nation literally on its knees as a result of COVID. Look at our post-COVID achievements, and you would see that the government, and certainly the people of Antigua and Barbuda collectively, that we have performed. And as a consequence, we are lifting our nation and its people.
Prime Minister Brown mentioned one of those projects which will require skilled workers, the kinds of skills that will be acquired at the expanded Abyss.
It's the one and only luxury resort out of the UAE that will be commencing construction in 2024. Again, we don't have the workers to pursue the construction of that resort. The principals of that hotel brand, they have actually purchased the Half Moon Bay property for over $100 million. So they're fully vested, and that hotel will certainly be constructed.
Trinidad and Tobago's Minister of Public Utilities, Marvin Gonzalez, says he has mandated that the Board of Directors of the Telecommunications Services of Trinidad and Tobago commission an independent inquiry into the recent cyber attack on the company. More in this TTT News report.
In a statement on Sunday, Minister Gonzalez says he spoke with TSTT's chairman and they are to make public the facts and findings of the inquiry once the details do not compromise TSTT's customer confidentiality or further put the integrity of TSTT's data or digital infrastructure at risk. He says given TSTT's importance on the country's telecommunications landscape, the breach warrants a thorough and full-scale investigation to ascertain the facts and circumstances that caused the breach, TSTT's communications regarding the matter, and the actions the organization is and has been taking to reduce the possibility of future cyber incursions.
Internationally, police arrested a man and rescued a child at the center of a hostage standoff at Hamburg airport, ending a crisis that had forced authorities to close the busy air hub. More in this Reuters report.
Germany's Hamburg airport was able to reopen and restart service on Sunday, hours after a hostage standoff involving a child was over. Police arrested a 35-year-old man and rescued a 4-year-old girl, who is the daughter of the suspect and was thought to be involved in a custody dispute. Police said a man who was suspected of carrying a gun and possibly explosives drove a vehicle through the gates of the airport on Saturday night. The incident shut down one of Germany's busiest aviation hubs. The suspect eventually got out of his car with his daughter, police said, and was arrested without resistance. The girl appeared to be unharmed. The episode raised concerns over security at the airport. Less than 4 months ago, climate activists had been able to breach barriers and get onto a runway, blocking planes from takeoff.
Tens of thousands of Palestinian-supporting people marched to Freedom Plaza in the U.S., asking for a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war. More in this ABC News report.
Marchers taking to the streets of Washington, D.C., many waving Palestinian flags and calling for a ceasefire. The march ended at Freedom Plaza, just steps away from the White House. Similar protests were held in major cities around the globe, including Toronto, London, Paris, and Berlin. The Hamas-run Palestinian Health Ministry says nearly 10,000 people have been killed in Gaza.
The weather is next after this break.
When hurricane season strikes, businesses need a partner who's ready to go the extra mile. One who understands the challenges and has experience to mitigate the risks. Trust C&W Business, your safety net in the eye of the storm. Our comprehensive disaster recovery strategies empower businesses to protect critical assets, keep communication channels open, and help operations recover quickly, ensuring the safety and continuity of your business. With C&W Business, a safe business is an open business.
And now for the weather. Present weather is partly cloudy with showers in the vicinity. Temperature is 30 degrees Celsius or 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds are east to southeast at 6 to 14 miles per hour. Seas are 1.2 to 1.5 meters or 4 to 5 feet. Weather forecast in St. Kitts and Nevis for today and tonight will be partly cloudy with a 60% or moderate chance of showers. Sunset for today will be at 5:38 p.m. and sunrise tomorrow will be at 6:11 a.m. We'll be right back after this.
When hurricane season strikes, businesses need a partner who's ready to go the extra mile. One who understands the challenges and has experience to mitigate the risks. Trust C&W Business, your safety net in the eye of the storm. Our comprehensive disaster recovery strategies empower businesses to protect critical assets, keep communication channels open, and help operations recover quickly, ensuring the safety and continuity of your business. With C&W Business, a safe business is an open business.
And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your presenter, Shanique Harvey.